What's going on, guys? Adam from 49ers Insiders over here. Boy TJ over here.
Okay, so today, on today's episode, we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna get Adam's opinions. Yeah, I don't have the Niner Faithful Radio T-shirt on today. I got my Shark City. Oh well, sue me.
Just
Laundry,
following my
hey,
wife here.
laundry needs to be done. You know what I'm saying? Laundry needs to be done. Like, hey, life is real. So anyway, today I thought we would just go ahead and go ahead since Adam missed last week's episode. We kind of just get him a little opinions on our signings and even though I know, because we go ahead and we talk throughout the week, but
Yeah.
obviously the listeners know. So we'll just go ahead and real quick re-signing Raheem Mostert. Yay, nay?
Definitely, yay, for sure. I mean,
Yeah,
low risk,
yeah,
high reward,
yeah.
as we know. Came on as a runner. Good signing.
I think that signing was, and a lot of people say, well, why not do the 1 year tender? And I said, well, see, problem I think what people don't understand is with the 1 year tender, it doesn't guarantee that he'll be on the team.
Well, with the tender, pretty much if another team could sign him to a contract that the 49ers were able to match, but they came to terms, obviously, on a 3-year deal. So
yeah. So what it was is essentially my point being that the 3-year deal was probably because he had an offer for 2 3-year deal from another team. And so the Niners were either going to have to match it, or match or beat it, which essentially is what they did, or just let him go. And I believe that it is some type of draft compensation, depending on, certain rules and regulations and certain things
and
that does
some other
count
team would have signed him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I want to say we put I don't even. Well, because they ended up reaching a 3-year deal, so no actual tender was actually placed on him, I think.
Yeah.
Because there is second round tenders. There is an original round. I think the original is could be wrong here, maybe 4th through 6th. So, but nothing was done because they ended up reaching a deal.
Deal, yeah. Jordan Matthews, yay, nay?
I mean, like I said, we signed several low-risk, high-reward guys. He was definitely one of them. The details came out the other day. Definitely yay, to answer your question. I think the details came out. It's like a $1.85 million deal, which sounds like, I mean, that's the beautiful thing about Shanahan, Garoppolo, and the rest of the boys. It's like we're going to start getting – I hope on the yearly, we're going to start getting guys that possibly want to come to us to be able to showcase themselves off, and either we pay them or they'll go elsewhere and get paid. So it's kind of like a win-win for both sides. But I believe it's a $200,000 bonus, if I'm not mistaken, on top of my head, for him to be on the 53-man roster. So it sounds like he's not cutting it. Snip, snip.
Yeah.
But
I'll go ahead and when I do the show notes tonight or tomorrow, I'll go ahead and put a link to the sports track and to his contract and everything like that. Now, I'll go ahead and put that in. I might have already done it on last week's notes. I'm pretty sure I probably did. I'm a yay just because to me, I look and the Niners put out an article, Joe Fan, about he's not just a slot receiver, even though although most of his damage is done from the slot. And to me, what it is I know this is not a guarantee for anything, but and people are gonna think whatever they're gonna think. But I don't think it's a mistake that I don't think it's a coincidence that Archie Manning's a quarterback and his 2 sons are quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? All 3 great quarterbacks.
Yeah, we'll forget about Cooper, who broke his leg or something. He was
something like that. Yeah, exactly. And so Ed McCaffrey and his son, Mike McCaffrey, or
there's Max and
Max. Yeah, Christian, but Max McCaffrey on the Niners. But
I think I don't know if he's still.
He was cut. But
hey, maybe he'll come back. Training camp.
I believe his practice squad. But he was on the Niners.
Yeah.
So my point now, that doesn't mean he's going to be great and all that and everything like that. But the point is that I believe that DNA matters, and so it's no secret that all Jerry's family, we're all athletes. Jerry's mom and dad were his dad wasn't, but his mom were athletes. All his cousins were athletes. Jordan's mother was a track star and everything like that. So it's in his DNA.
Good bloodlines, good genetics.
Genetics and everything like that. And to me, so that makes sense. To me, you talk about building John Lynch brick by brick and building a winning culture back and everything like that. Well, bringing in somebody who I believe it matters to. I mean, he talked about how, he had tweeted that picture of him and Jerry with the Niner hat, and it said some things are just meant to be.
You gotta love that from like an extra motivational standpoint. Like you gotta think he's gonna go hard. Like my uncle, obviously the best wide receiver of all time.
Yeah, but his cousin, it's his second cousin. But exactly, and so to me, it's like I've always felt personally that if I ever had the opportunity to play for the Niners, I would just go harder for everybody than everybody else. I always just felt like that deep down in my soul. So, and then to me, you look at to me, the overall theme to this offseason is filling needs. Because in that article I was speaking about earlier about Joe Fan is his 22 touchdowns, 16 of them came in the red zone. What's the one thing that's plagued the Niners since? Ironically, except the Chip Kelly year, which the problem with the Chip Kelly year is we didn't get in the red zone that often. But
that was a fun year.
Yeah, right. But
started off good.
Right? Oh, I was there actually.
Blaine Gabbert didn't start off good. I remember throwing a pass to the ground. I was like, "Oh God!" And then he came around and we won that game against Rams. But
a turnover by.
Didn't win for another like 15 weeks.
Ray Armstrong. Yeah, right. A turnover early by Ray Armstrong turned the game. But anyway, so to me, that sounds like everybody's
partial area void. Like I guess you can go ahead.
Yeah. And well, we need to receive. Look. I said we would bring this up. Let's just go ahead and bring it up. The Giants must have been kicking it with LT circa 1986 because they were smoking rocks and they thought we were going to give them DeForest Buckner and the second overall pick.
Yeah, that wasn't happening. And I brought this up. That could have been a partial week of Gettleman's initial pitch, knowing that obviously our guys were going to come down off of that. So you never know how these reports, especially that come out later, like, oh yeah, this was a supposed proposal. That initial. But still, it was still part of it, I guess you can say.
I think to me personally, I think that was to get number 17 out of the Browns. I think that was to get the winner of the pot, if you would necessarily say, offering DeForest Buckner and the second overall, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, we'll get is to me, when you look at what Jordan Matthews is he's a red zone target. He's a big body red zone target. Well, what do we need help in the red zone? I was
going to say, like, those two needs, like everyone was arguing for obviously a big body receiver and obviously somebody that can help out in the red zone a little bit. And definitely got that. You can add Coleman to the mix as somebody that should improve the area. Please, God bless us with health for 2019. Jet back and the whole runaround. That's always an interesting dilemma. Based out my opinion plenty of times about, okay, your initial gut instinct. I mean, I don't know if we've talked about it on air yet. Do you think we go with 4 running backs?
Yeah. I think we try to trade Jet. If this is my thing about it is I think and trading Jet. Okay. See, the ACL thing is what bothers me. Is I think okay, trade is wrong. If one's gonna go, I think it's Jet. I think, and I know how you feel about Jet. Hey, I was excited too.
But I mean, everyone just keeps bringing up like, oh yeah, I put it down for you guys. Yeah, I'm like, I understand. Here's my bottom line of why I believe one is going to get dealt. And it could be Mostert. Just because he took the deal doesn't mean he's not like, you're going to be a Niner for the next 3 years. So let's not.
Kilgore. Look at
I mean,
Kilgore.
I understand
look at what
everybody
happened to
loves him as
Kilgore last
special
year.
teams ace, but yeah, Kilgore was a perfectly good example of like, hey, you could be a little security blanket, but let's not act like there's guys in the league that are not going to have to prove themselves on special teams and that could be really good. And like, Mostert doesn't need to stay from just a special team standpoint. I thought he really improved. I kind of batted for him.
No.
He came on really nice. I think he's a perfectly solid number 3.
He did.
And he's cheap. So why not kind of keep him there? I'm just making a case. He could be the one that ends up getting dealt. You never know. But I just think Coleman would not have signed if he had to share the rock with 3 other guys. I mean, why would you do that? To me, it sounds plain and simply like, yo, we're going to give you probably a certain amount of carries. It looks like he took, I don't know if you want to call it super fair money, but it looked pretty like a team-friendly contract to me. 2 years, $10 million. I don't even think, I don't know what the guarantees are on top of my head, but that's a very team-friendly contract. But that sounded to me a way for him to get kind of paid knowing he's going to be productive with Shanny again. And why would you want to come and share the rock with 3 other guys? That just wouldn't make sense in my opinion.
Right.
So
unless this is essentially my bottom line is I think no. I think no, and this is what I think happens is I think that
dude, the draft is going to be exciting. Mark my words.
Okay, so I'll put it to you this way. Is to get back to one of your points. I don't think Tevin Coleman signed here if he wasn't not. Let's put not guaranteed a roster spot, but guaranteed a roster. Like
I think he's guaranteed at least number 2 type of carries. At least I want to say he's going to be the slight lead dog, and then the other guy's going to be kind of close in second. That's just my early premature projection.
I think what they realized is ideally they love keep everybody. But look, as this football team gets better, which during the offseason, during free agency, they've gotten the best football team.
You're cutting off a little bit, my man. I was
my bad. Here, let me. Better?
Probably. Hopefully.
Okay. So, basically, I believe we got better as a football team. So, we're going to have to lose. We're going to have to lose good players. We're going to have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was having a discussion with somebody, Brian on Twitter. I was having a discussion with him about KB. And I love KB. You know this. I'm a huge KB fan. I love huge KB fan.
I just got some uncertainty about him. You know?
I do too. And to say he's
not peaked. Let's just leave it there. He's not peaked.
Yeah. His upside is his potential. You know what I'm saying? He's not here for what he could do right now in 2019.
I know he has potential, but is it this? Or is it maybe that?
Or is it?
I don't know.
Yeah. But if the discussion was about AJ Green and whether we would trade it, essentially Kendrick Bourne for AJ Green. And I said,
it wouldn't be not straight up though.
No. There was, I can't remember exactly all the compensation, but no.
I pitched out there, for example, Arik Armstead, KB, and a 6.
Yeah.
This is just like to get Cincinnati. Let's just say like initially they weren't that intrigued. Like something like, would that be something that would highly entertain them because you're giving them a replacement of a wide receiver. Not saying he's as good as AJ Green, but it's someone that has potential for them. Arik Armstead, you can line them up on the big end spot as well.
Yeah.
They have some edge rushers. They need somebody kind of next to Geno Atkins, so that would be a solid, and you get a 6th out of it, and they could be a good trade for both teams. Anyways, go on. I'm sorry.
No. That is a valid point. Like, look, I think ideally is that this is why. Okay, so this brings up the question, and I know that we've came on live, and I don't like to change my opinion too much because that makes me wishy-washy, and nobody likes anybody who's wishy-washy.
Hey, this is part of the process, though. You're allowed to.
Of course. But my whole thing about this is why I think the Niners are ultimately, and I'm so giddy like a schoolgirl about this, we're in the ultimate position of win-win. Arizona takes Bosa. So hypothetical. Okay,
That's the
Arizona
one
takes
I like.
Bosa. Not the one, of course, of course. We all know the one that Adam likes.
I'm prepared for it. I mean,
Yeah, your team Bosa or bust. You know what I'm saying? Basically,
I'm Team Bosa or
trade down.
another edge rusher. I mean,
Yeah.
Josh Allen or Brian Burns. I'm still not on the Quinn and Williams train. Obviously, I gotta be ready for it. I mean, if the 49ers decide they want Quinn and Williams, we're gonna trade Arik Armstead on draft day, and Sully's gonna rotate in on nickel inside. I mean, then so be it. I don't know what you want me to say. Like, I'm prepared for everything. But
this is Brian from Locked On 49ers. Brian Peacock had brought this up, and he said, "How many times do you look back at a need?" At now, and in 2-3 years, that's not even a need anymore because it worked itself out because of whatever situation. Now,
in
this
terms
is my
of like
idea.
you drafted somebody and develop them,
yeah,
there
drafted somebody. For example, everybody says it doesn't make sense for us to take Quentin Williams.
Oh yeah, I made a tweet about it actually yesterday. I brought up some age examples. Have you seen the ages of like Buckner's 25. I think Armstead is 25. Yeah. Kentavious Street is only 21. Julian Taylor's 24. Sheldon Day's only,
everybody thinks about
24 as well. And in your head, you're like, oh, he was kind of older. But
I always thought he was too.
Have further ceiling to reach, like it's just and Ronald Blair can play inside as well. He's 26. Mm-hmm. He's like the oldest of the bunch. But
I love Ronald Blair.
I think I listed 7-8 guys that's like these guys need an opportunity in the reps to be able to possibly develop further as well. So
this is the idea that Brian Peacock brought in, is that if they really wanted to sign Arik Armstead long term, they would have done it.
I mean, yeah, because we know how we work too with extensions. Usually we like to try to get a little better, more fair deals. So we try to extend guys a little further.
Or I'll put it to you this way.
I believe Armstead is a trade asset as well, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
Which would have been stupid.
I think I'll put it to you this way. Any trade that the Niners have talked about this offseason, I guarantee you Arik Armstead was brought up, either by them or by the other team.
Because you know why, too? People are tripping like, he has, this is his last year. He's going to make $9 million this year. It's like, yes, guys, we effing get that, but he still has more upside to reach as well. He finally had his breakout campaign, so you like to think he can improve upon that. God willing, he stays healthy, because we know that, that's part of the thing, too. People always act like sometimes because, like you can't put injury and not a good player technically together. Like, you can be a good player, but obviously, as we know, health is very important. But just because you're unhealthy sometimes doesn't mean you suck as a player. Like, I remember people were a little unfair with Armstead about that, in my opinion. Like, he got hurt for a couple of years and like, oh, he sucks. He's a buzz, like, yada, yada. But we haven't even seen him healthy.
So he's played well. So this actually, to get back to free agency real quick.
Sorry. But another team can extend them, right?
Well, yeah. And this is to actually, you perfectly segued into the next topic, next signing I wanted to get into, which is a big hot button topic amongst the empire. Jimmy Ward, yay or nay?
I personally like it, and I not to toot my own horn again, but I thought this was going to be an option.
I did too.
That I was prepared for. I mean, we've talked about this, I'm sure, several times. We were all thirsty for old Thomas. Some people out there are still tripping about it. Still don't understand it. As we know, we kind of have the money for it. So I really think it came down to. I mean, I just think there's another. I think they really fell in love with somebody, or they like a few options in the draft, because that's, in my opinion, what it comes down to.
So John Lynch went ahead
and I say yay from an insurance aspect, and as we know, he's versatile.
I mean, okay, so you just said a very, very key thing. If you look at players that versatility. I mean, versatility, because this is the one thing that the Niners. This is kind of why I believe the Tevin Coleman signing makes sense. Is because they don't want to get burned. They realize Matt Breida is not a full-time running back. I love Matt Breida. as a 1-2 punch with McKinnon or Tolman or Coleman. I love Breida. I think if Breida stays healthy, he leads the league in rushing possibly that last year.
He finished top 2 or 3 in yards per carry average, so that tells you something.
So this is it, I believe, but they depended on McKinnon too much.
I mean,
because this is my thing about it is how many people were complaining
a lot, or they were hoping he was just gonna be kind of like that all-star that was just gonna spark things up further.
I think this is how I always like to approach the show. Is I like to state what I believe or at least what the Niners have said their philosophy are, or what I believe how they look things, and then I give my opinion on whether I agree with that or not. So this is my thing about it is, I think Shanahan, his ability to be able to scheme and get people open, and being able to look for very particular things in players that he likes. And it doesn't matter if there's a 6th-round grade on the guy. Hey, he does these things very well, and I can utilize these, i.e. Trent Taylor.
That's the beautiful thing about Matt Breida. Like, he's given us more than he was undrafted. Like, everything has been a bonus that he's given us, in my opinion.
To you and me is if losing Jerick McKinnon last year, if losing Jimmy G. Cool, if just everything that has transpired last year gives us health this year, right? Just unbelievable health. Just like you know what? This has to be God type of health.
Dude, you know what I always think about too? I'm like, please let it be like a slot machine where we paid into it.
Hey, we just hit it.
We're due for a damn payout, I feel like we're just due for it, man. Because when things in life are going bad, sometimes you just for a great weekend, like maybe I shouldn't get too overly from a male single man standpoint, but eventually you throw yourself out there, you might catch a fish,
Yep, there you go. Well, this is the way I look at it is how I view it. And I don't mean to offend anybody by saying this, but whenever I get down and I ever do wonder, like, hey, is this show really going to turn into something? Like, is this going to become big? Right?
We're human.
God sends me little itty bitty blessings. Just it might be something big.
Keep kind of like have you on the hook a little.
Yeah, just keep on pushing me through, motivating me.
Kind of go further away, reels it back in a little bit.
Yeah, and it just keeps me going, and that's what I like to call it. I guess my little caffeine shot. Yeah, my little caffeine shot. There you go. So to me, I think if Coleman is insurance, because to me, how useful, or I shouldn't say useful.
I think Coleman is a nice used car.
To me, it's okay.
It's used, but it's a nice car. It's probably the best we got.
I'll put it to you this way: this is the type of thing that maybe you got a little bit of savings, and you go and you see a nice car that you didn't, and it's at an insane price. You know what I'm saying? Where it's a really, like you said, like a used car.
Are we talking about Le'Veon Bell? Are we talking about Le'Veon Bell right now?
No. Let's not.
He was a $40,000 used Porsche, and you're like, man, do I want to make that investment in a used Porsche? You're talking the guy down. Okay. Eventually, didn't make a deal, but you got another great value on a car.
Hey, you had if you go for Porsche or Ferrari, you got Mercedes Benz.
I mean, yeah.
You got a Mercedes Benz for $25,000.
It's a 2000 and for how much? 20,000.
20,000 Mercedes Benz for 20,000.
20,000. Okay, so it's like a 2014. Maybe 2015. You
nice.
Put some good amount of cash up front, and you actually got a good deal on it. Low mileage. Well, yeah.
Because this is my thing about it is running backs. This is the only negative thing I have so far about the free agency thing is we've talked about this as far as Jimmy G. Cool and Jerick McKinnon coming back from ACLs.
More than that, guys. But
and so this is my one thing is that I've always said is like, look, you and me both are on record of saying Jimmy G. Cool's fine. He'll be fine. Jerick McKinnon.
Come on,
yeah. To us, the more concerning one is
that thing. Honest, for the first X amount of weeks, I don't care.
Yeah. To me, the more concerning one is Jerick McKinnon. To me, and I think the Coleman signing, Kyle Shanahan could come out.
I know where you're going from, at pretty much. And then I brought this up last year. It was like, remember, at first I was kind of making a case for Le'Veon Bell. I said, don't freaking come over here and shoot me. I'm just making a case of Jerick McKinnon is coming back from ACL.
Yeah.
Mostert broke his form. He wound up on IR. Matt Breida missed like 2/5 of the season if you factor in the games he missed and the games that he left early. It was literally like 5 games that he left early, probably.
Yeah. It seemed like Matt Breida was always leaving early.
So I calculated it was like 2/5. It wasn't half the season. It wasn't just 1 quarter. It was more than that.
Right.
So I was making a case of like, okay, I understand Le'Veon Bell might not happen, but Tevin Coleman reunite with Shanahan again, and it would be the ultimate, like, the 49ers. And that's why everybody wants to keep off 4 running backs, and I get it. I mean, I'm open to that. I'm just saying,
I'm too.
You have a possibly impact running. I don't want to include reach like that, just 49er fans, but you possibly have insurance of having an impact running back every single week, and that sounds lovely.
Look, I'll put it to you this way: how awesome would it have been to have Tevin Coleman last year when Jerick McKinnon went down, or Matt Breida left the game early?
To be honest, I mean,
or Alfred Morris wasn't being productive.
Man, when Jerick went down, let's just admit I was legit depressed for like 2 days. Let's not talk about how many days.
We're good.
But I'm like, honestly, it didn't hurt as much when Jimmy tore his season, because then it's like, yeah, we try to rally behind the team, but we were also possibly thinking like, you know what, if we have to wait 1 more year and stack up the roster further, and that's a point I wanted to piggyback off you earlier. So we signed these guys and stacked up the roster even further, but we're getting all these guys back from injury reserve. That's like, it's kind of like having 2 off seasons in one per se. We haven't even drafted yet. So we're going to keep getting, like, even, I'm not going to say even stronger than other teams, but let's just say a team right now is more superior than us with our draft position, anything like that. We're going to close the gap. For example, like, we're going to close the gap on the Rams. I'm not going to say, hey, I guarantee we're going to take
the Look,
I think we easily have an opportunity to, but at the end of the day, my goal is just playoffs again, you know?
Well, this is how I'm looking at it this way, is that I think with not everybody's going to come back. Okay, so let's be this clear, is that this is, to me, is as far as the injury players, as we stand today, pre-draft, pre any of that.
We haven't even talked about your boy Jason Barrett yet.
I was just about to bring him up. We're going to actually, I'm still trying to get Crocker on to talk to us about that. I'm trying to work that out and to get Croc on.
Okay. That'd be cool.
Yeah. But to me, I think the key ones to me that need to come back, obviously, Jimmy G Cool goes without saying.
I mean, shout out to Mullins, who made the season a little fun for us.
Quan and Verrett. I think if we could have those 3 players come, those are 3 players that changes our defense.
Pro Bowl caliber players. I'm still not shutting the door on Ahkello Witherspoon.
Yeah.
But the lovely part about Barrett is we're not relying on him to be the starter. No. And it makes me feel really good that knowing that, like, you know, Ahkello Witherspoon is going to have a fire up his ass. Verrett is coming in knowing that Sherm thinks highly of Spoon, which honestly doesn't really matter. I mean, they're still going to have to compete against each other. I'm pretty sure he knows Ahkello is capable of balling. I'm pretty sure they've already been watching some film of later in the season. I'm sure he knows Ahkello can play. So it makes me feel really good that knowing whoever loses that is going to be probably the first guy off the bench, because Tarberius probably needs another year of seasoning, and that's okay. He showed me a few solid things when he got some time in late last year. That was a good experience. But it makes me feel good that whoever loses is going to give us some very solid depth. So Tarberius Moore, your second backup outside cornerback, that sounds good to me.
I think we're possibly a year away from this possibly happening, but I want to bring this up just in case on some fluke stuff that actually does happen. Don't rule out that Verrett and Witherspoon beat out Sherm.
That ain't happening this year. I mean, I'm all in.
Like I said, I don't. I said let's not bring up the possibility. Let's not bring in the impossibility. Is that because this is my whole thing about it is sheer odds are that not every signing is going to be a great signing. Not everything's going to hit. You know what I'm saying?
By the way, Brett, 3.7 million. That to me is very push starting worthy type of money. Where
that's.
I'm surprised. Me and my friend, that's a Chargers fan, talked about. I'm like, how do you guys not bring him back at that money? Where, you see maybe if you're eventually going to cash in that check, kind of a thing. And they were penny pinching a little more. They're obviously a little cash strapped, so they chose to go a different direction. I'm sure they're probably just going to draft somebody because they have Desmond King at KP starting cornerback. So I think they're going to take a free safety in the first round. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, to me is
I forgot though. Verrett went to high school in the Bay Area, didn't
he? Yeah. He's from Fairfield.
So
he's from just a little bit closer to San Francisco than Vallejo.
So it sounds like that played a role, being back home.
Yeah. He's definitely said that he was happy to be back in the Bay Area. It was surreal for him and everything. And well, to me, it's Sherm is not going to last forever.
Let's remember. Sorry to be Mr. Doctor over here. He's going to be his second year post Achilles, and it takes 2 years to get your maximum exposure to came back like that. So I totally
elevate. Awesome.
Yeah.
But it's you and me have had this discussion
forever, whatever.
Well, I mean, but you and me have had this discussion. Yes, that's cool. And I to me, NaVorro Bowman had talked about before he blew out his Achilles. The second year back from his knee was when he started, just right before he blew out his Achilles, is when he started to feel like he was getting back. That's awesome. But you and me have also discussed that Father Time's undefeated.
Yeah. I mean, I just think the feeling says Sherman has at least 2 solid years in him.
I think what we have to understand is I think what Jed York approached this is Jed York looked, when he approached this in 2017, it's no secret they got 6-year deals, la-di-da-da-da-da-da. Is that I think that he had to have understood that he had to understand is that, you know what? I'm hiring a first-time, not only general manager, hasn't even been a scout. Okay. And I'm hiring a first-time head coach. Yeah, his father was a head coach. Okay, there's going to be some growing pains. I think to come out of 2017 with George Kittle and, Akilo and maybe some, Trent Taylor, maybe some pieces. But to me, it is that, can you say that the 20 so far in limited playing ability or playing time, does 17 look better than 18? Or 18 look better than 17? I believe so. I believe Mike McGlinchey was a better pick than Solomon Thomas and Reuben Foster.
And I think he'll show his worth this upcoming year. I mean, probably a little different subject for a different time.
Yeah, of course. But my point about it is,
it's just hard because, guys like Trent Taylor took a step back. We're recovering from his back surgery and BS. And once again, solely dealt with his sister passing. First year didn't do OTAs, placed him out of a position because we needed him more. There's a little bullshit like that factored into it. I mean, initial results, though, I guess, yeah, I guess if you take 20, I mean, Fred Warner, Mike McGlinchey. But, man, I mean, you can easily make a case for the bunch of 2017, especially when you factor in getting Breida for free and stuff. He's still technically draft.
And
I guess you can say kind of a push for me. I mean, Kittle was just top 2. Like, who would you rather have in a trade, Kittle or a combination of McGlinchey and Warner?
Ooh.
I mean, you see my point though right there.
That's deep. That's very That's very deep.
So I don't know.
Very deep. Yeah.
And I think they're both going to grow universally, which is awesome.
And to me, it's okay. To me, the front office, the Peters, the McGahee, those type of to me.
I was just thinking about those guys.
I was happy just because the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th rounds, those people really shine. And so to get George Kittle in the 5th round, to get Trent Taylor in the 5th round, to get Adrian Colbert in the 7th round, the Matt Breida undrafted. That's one of the reasons I'm hopeful about this regime. It's not so much Linehan. It's not just so much of them. Yes, I do have faith in them, but everybody has an assistant. Yeah. So to me, to bring up back to to me the thing about it is we're getting better and it's a point that
it's just a matter of like and how quick we're gonna hit the actual potential. And we've all seen teams, and honestly, I mean that's why people are sports fans, right? Because I mean people can be reaching and maybe be a little more hopeful than they think.
Yeah.
Sure, whatever. But at the same time, I feel like it's just we've all seen teams make some great turnarounds within a year kind of a thing. And I think us is kind of going to be more so likely because we are going to year 3. Like last year, we thought it was going to be the stepping stone, hopefully making the playoffs. And then maybe this year truly pushing for that championship window where maybe you have a shot to go to the Super Bowl. But point is, I think we're perfectly established where we can have one of those magical seasons. And I think we're perfectly set up for it. And I think you'll see it, especially after the draft.
I think that look, if you look, I think they kind of circled year 3 because they obviously did not know they were going to get Jimmy G. Cool. They thought they were going to get Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
They tried to trade. I think essentially what happened is they tried to trade for him in 2017 before the draft. Couldn't get him, so they said screw it because Washington was Dean Snyder was trying to rape Kyle Shanahan.
Patriots were as we know, they wanted to extend kind of Jimmy. Then they just realized with their budget and stuff, it just wasn't going to work. And I guess Brady low-key threw a kind of a fit and wanted him gone.
Yeah. I mean, let's be real. And to me is.
But it makes sense, Brady's probably going to.
Oh yeah.
3 years, dude. Watch.
I mean look. Essentially, I think that Brady kissed the Patriots dynasty goodbye once he left. I think the difference now, not the number of championships you could argue was better. I'm talking about the difference of why we won a championship after Joe left is because as an organization, and Joe asked to be traded, whatever. But as an organization, we were willing to move on from Joe Montana.
Right. I mean, we had the perfect stepping stone of a guy, and I'm sure.
And Steve Young. Now, don't tell me that Bill Belichick didn't think. You saw how he traded Kobe. He traded all those quarterbacks, but he didn't trade.
They were just trying to get assets to maximize the window further, kind of a thing.
Yeah. Well, exactly. But the point is, thank you, by the way, but they thought they were going to have Kirk Cousins. Because eventually, Kyle Shanahan said, screw it, we'll just get him in free agency next year. And then Jimmy G. Cool fell in our lap.
So I was like, cool, I'll wait.
Yeah. And then Jimmy, I thought that was going to, I thought it was a done data. It just, it was going to be, it is what it is.
Same here.
And then obviously Jimmy G. Cool falls in our lap. And hey, the rest is history. So to me is year 3 was what they circled. I think what they told you is that their philosophy had to be, I really honestly believe in my heart of hearts, that it had to be, give us a year 2, 3, whatever, build us a defense through the draft, through whatever. Give me few pieces here and there, a Trent Taylor, George Kittle, a few pieces here and there. I'll work with the offense. I'll be able to scheme it up. I'll be able to do, whatever I do. And then, build us a championship Tampa Bay type defense.
Perfect world. I mean, it's kind of like what in Atlanta, really.
And if you look at, I'm going to do more research about it. Now, I'll probably either do a separate episode or even a blog about it. But I'm digging back into the actual philosophy of Bill Walsh because I seem to remember. Now, I don't remember everything, but if you look at the dynasty, Ronnie Lott, drafted. Joe Montana, drafted. John Taylor, drafted. I believe Freddie Solomon was via trade or free agency, but I believe it was via trade. So my thing about it is, so you look, George Kittle, drafted. Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Trade.
Definitely just cornerstone. Then you fill
draft your
and that's what you try to do on the yearly basis, in my opinion.
Yeah, and so that you see now, has some things changed? Yeah, did we maybe envision that we wouldn't need Quan Alexander because who ironically is going to wear 56? We thought I was going to be Reuben Foster. Hey, yeah, well, you know what? Sometimes stuff happens. It did. So we move on. So because to me, 2018 this is why I believe I saw that you liked it. Well, I brought up about Marquise Goodwin.
What about?
I said when we kind of had that little back and forth about Marquise Goodwin yesterday, and I said, look, to me, I'm not mad at Marquise Goodwin. To me, my overall thing about everybody on the team is, can I depend on you? I understand your wife was going through whatever she was going through. Nobody's saying that he shouldn't have been with his wife. I'm not saying that at all.
Dude, what initially jumpstarted everything, it was, as we all know, the freaking, I think I was going to say is Eric Kendricks, or is it Lance Kendricks? Was one of the Kendrick brothers, the linebacker for the Vikings, but purposely stuck his knee out, and it hit him right in the quad. And he came back for like a few plays and then realized he couldn't go. That derailed his part of his first season. And then things went to shit anyways. I really don't even care.
Yeah, right. I mean, at the end of the day,
welcome to a lost season anyway. So why are we gonna put extra emphasis on?
Well, I mean, I tell people this. I said, look, guess what?
Points though. Don't get me wrong.
Everybody underperformed and everybody got hurt. Welcome to the 2018 season.
Yeah, it was just a bad hangover, dude.
Here. You want me to sum up the 2018 season? People got hurt, people underperformed, and Nick Mullins came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
About sum it up, right?
And we finished with the number 2 overall pick.
Yeah, right. What did I tell you? I remember doing an episode last year. I don't remember exactly when it was, but you and me were doing an episode. And I said, look, nobody gives a shit or nobody cares that
Jimmy got hurt, whatever.
We sucked, and that's how we got Frank. Like in 2005, everybody wants to talk about Frank Gore. Everybody's all in their feelings because he said he wants to retire a Niner. And guess what? You know why we got Frank Gore in 2005? Because we had the first pick of the 3rd round. You want to know why we had the first pick of the 3rd round? Because we were 2-14.
You want to know why?
Nobody talks about that.
Ready to take Frank Gore on top of the 3rd round? Because he had 2 torn ACLs in college.
Yes. Thank you.
Not that came out, but still factored in.
Yeah. But I mean, my point being that, why did this happen? Why did this, the point is we sucked.
And those are the money spots.
Guess what?
Starters now.
So whether it be Bosa, whether it be Williams, whether it be trading down, whatever it is that we do this year, Burns, whatever it is, Metcalf, because we trade down to. I saw somebody who said, if we that they want 6 and 17. They want Allen they want to take Allen at 6, which I think there might be a possibility.
In my opinion, is that something you really think is high up on the 49ers' mind, or that just sounds kind of good from a greedy 49er faithful standpoint of, hey, we're going to get 2 starters in the 1st round?
No. I think that they don't go in expecting it. Now, could it happen? I mean, look what happened with Reuben Foster, and look at how you felt about it in 2017.
I just think that 6 and 17 is not thoroughly legitimate.
No. I don't.
I still think they would have found a way without DeForest Buckner, or if they're like, I
see. That's what I like to believe.
The Giants would honestly, regardless, kind of like the Raiders were stubborn with us. But I think, if they were trading down to swapping picks and work something else out, they would have tried to find a way to make it happen for OBJ if they were going to go back.
That's what I would have.
Because then you take your edge there, you would have been all gravy at the end of the day, no matter.
Yeah. That's personally, that's kind of what I always felt. So if you would have said, to me, essentially, because this is the thing that I will admit that you're right about, Adam, is that you said, so you would have got.
That's my conspiracy.
Peter King. Peter King had mentioned, he put an equivalent. He said Jaquiski Tartt to make it equivalent for the safety that the Browns had traded.
Okay.
Okay. So Jaquiski Tartt. Okay.
And like swap and
And so you would have given number 2. And Jaquiski Tartt, they would have gave 6, and
right. We probably had to throw in probably like
OBJ or third or just whatever, just for OBJ.
Right. It would have just found
why. To me, what's confusing about this is this scenario. Even though I think it's a possibility, and I'll admit it's me being greedy and me kind of going like this to him, For those who listen to the podcast, I flipped a bird. So I sometimes forget we're recording this as a podcast sometimes. So to me, why? So, but you don't want to do that. But you want to trade 6 and 17 to move up to 2.
Well,
that doesn't make sense to me.
As soon as I said this, I'm like, you know what? But sometimes plans change. Where at first the 49ers weren't willing to do the swap for number 6 and yada yada. But maybe they changed their feelings a little bit. And now maybe that the Giants did have 17. Maybe the 49ers did kind of change their minds a little bit. And
maybe they take Bosa. Maybe Arizona took Bosa.
But here's the thing. In my opinion, the only way this kind of possibly happens, like maybe now that the Giants do have 17, the 49ers are more so intrigued about maybe working something like that. But the only way this happens, in my opinion, is the gaps have to be very close, like small between, like, say, Bosa. Well, see, this is the thing I brought this up about Josh Allen yesterday. I said you can't. Let's just say the 49ers do like Josh Allen as much as Nick Bosa. Or
I don't think they don't.
You can't swap back to number 6, right? And that's a whole different argument.
Yeah.
Because then the Jets, or the Raiders, if not the Bucks, would probably take Josh Allen either 3, 4, number 5. You can't go back to number 6. So, in my opinion, it sounds like if they think Brian Burns has like the potential, because Brian Burns should be there at 6, even though the Bucks could take him. So that's the thing too. How do you trade back to number 6? Are you banking on Josh Allen and Brian Burns are possibly going to be there at 6 when they both could be gone?
Or
because you just can't bank on your guy being there. The whole point about like you want to be assured that your guy's going to be there. I made a case for maybe swapping with the Jets. You get to fleece them, kind of like we did in 2017 with the Bears. I mean, I don't know if that would be for Josh Allen, if it would be for Brian Burns, or if it would be for possibly the possibility that I don't love of Quinnen Williams. But
I know that not everybody is high on this scenario as I am. But if you'll see a conversation or a reply to a video of Robert Saleh speaking at the Senior Bowl, and how I interpreted it is how he essentially called out Josh Allen for not showing up.
He was disappointed because he wanted to get more of a firsthand look on him, and I'm sure. I mean, can you imagine?
Now, I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen, or that Josh Allen is not better than, and he's not going to be drafted. They could be talking about Josh Allen this whole time, for all we know. They have Josh Allen written down as the second overall pick. You know what I'm saying?
It could.
And hey, you know what I'm saying? And they're like, hey, unless Arizona takes him, which Arizona won't. Unless Arizona takes him, we're taking Josh Allen. We don't care what people offer. They could be very well saying this. I doubt it, but they could be.
Well, they're also doing their homework possibly. Let's just say he is
Montez.
Maybe you swap, still get your guy, kind of like Solomon Thomas once again.
To me, if 6 is kind of high, I'll admit that 6 is very high, but Montez Sweat.
Like is that like an uncomfortable leap back?
No. Like 6 is too high to take Montez Sweat. To me, if you're saying Burns or Allen,
or Allen, yeah. I mean,
or Allen
right now. I like the potential of Sweat. Just seems like we're
probably at 6. Now let's say Burns or Allen are gone by 6. You're banking that one of them will be there at 6 and you get burned.
See, the 49ers would not do that to themselves.
I don't think they would either.
Gambles and says, please God, Like you make the greed, like that just would be the ultimate greedy move. Then what? I mean, I'm trying to remember. Has the team kind of done that and been on record where like they traded back thinking their guy's going to be there, then the guy doesn't end up being there?
I'm pretty sure that's happened.
You also got to factor in, let's just say the 49ers love DK Metcalf and they're planning on doing this number 6 with the Giants trade or something like that, right?
I would take Metcalf at 6.
Let me just say this, though. If somehow a team finds out the 49ers really like DK Metcalf, that's probably why they swap back with the Giants. Guess what? Then somebody might call up the Bucs at number 5, and then somebody leapfrogs in front of you, and then you get screwed. Like, that's why there's like, you know, they say it's don't believe everything you hear and the whisper, yada, yada, because like every team is planning for every scenario, and every team wants to throw everything out there. So, like, it messes up with all these executives.
Of course.
They just don't know what's going to happen. Because of the possibility of, once again, if I know a team's going to do this, shit, I'm calling the Bucs or something like that, trying to leapfrog it from the other. Get that guy, you screw the other team. I mean, it's crazy. It's like an auction, man. Sometimes if you can find up or down.
If Eric, because to me is that I think because my obsession with 6 and 17 is that this crazy not going to happen. But let's say that Arizona does take Bosa. Okay, I honestly think what would happen is that we would take Williams, which may be what we want or what we do anyway. But
no, I'm prepared for that.
But to me, if the Giants offer 6 and 17 and whatever, and it could be worked in. Okay.
Good.
I think that that's something that you have to consider.
You know what I've been thinking about, dude?
But to me,
go ahead.
But to me, is that you're doing 2 things. You're banking on D Ford. D Ford will be a beast.
I'm banking on him as my number 1 edge. I mean,
I am too. I think I don't think that he'll have 13 sacks. I think he'll scrape double. What? Okay, so if we put the over under at 9, or 11, you going over or under?
At 11?
Yeah.
I would like to say push right there. I think it'll be right there.
Yeah. 11.
I'm going to take the potential. I'll still go ahead and go over. I think we're going to get a lot more leads and things like that. We're going to get into nickel more. We'll have our ability to have their ears pinned back.
I'll go under, but I'll just go barely under. Like if it was at 10, I would say push.
10.
If it was 9.5, 10, I would say push. You know what I'm saying? I definitely say push. But to me, what he's going to make it worth it is I think what he's going to do for DeForest Buckner and company is going to be, you know, unmarkably
important just to get that other edge rusher because I mean I just don't. That's why I just keep thinking about Quinnen Williams, and then what? You're gonna have to maybe trade back into the freaking first round, and what edge rusher is gonna be? Is that edge rusher that maybe you trade up to the end of the first round for? And I'm trying to think of who. I'm just saying
exactly. That's because that's my whole thing about it is. Because my whole thing about it is 17 to me is that's a sweetener. That's a hey, you screwed us on OBJ. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we're asking for 17. 6 is really what I'm looking at.
Well, I think the point differential between number 2 and number 6 is like the 15th overall pick. So at 17 and maybe like a 6th or 5th.
Yeah, okay, fine. It works out.
And here's a scenario for you a little bit. Are the 49ers possibly thinking a little bit of – so here's a scenario. We're lucky to be in this situation. Yay or nay?
Yeah. Yes.
I guess you can call it. You can call us lucky even though it was a shitty way to get it. Yeah. But I would still say we're lucky. So, like, part of me is thinking about maybe you do try to trade down and stockpile picks to kind of give yourself maybe a better overall probability of profiting off the situation, if that kind of makes sense. And then, like, you planting more seeds. Or do you say Nick Bosa is going to be a possibly – I don't want to reach the Hall of Fame, but maybe he could be that edge rusher guy that you have for the next 8 to 10 years.
Yeah, franchise changing.
With Alden, like kind of a similar.
Yeah, he could be what Alden Smith should have been.
Right, that kind of a thing. Yeah, like you got lucky to get Nick Bosa,
Charles Haley,
or you got lucky to get this money per se. So you're gonna like invest it in different areas. So then that way you have like better probabilities of of capitalizing on the opportunity a little more or something like that. I don't know.
Well, essentially, I believe that's the question of the hour. I mean, that's essentially what we're all asking ourselves because to me, it's.
I just don't think we have that many needs to make a move like that, in my opinion.
And see, that's my thing about it is okay.
If we were in year one,
because my thing about it is year 17. Okay, so pick 17 because to me the whole deal is about pick 6 because who are you getting at pick 6? Because who you getting at pick 6 better be franchise changing. Maybe not so much as Bosa or edge rusher or anything, but you better be getting a superstar corner.
We took all.
You know what I'm saying?
7 overall.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You need to maybe not like
Andre Carter. I think number 6. I mean, you're prepared for Andre Carter at number 6.
I mean, look, I want like a shutdown corner, a type of person that Niner fans are saying that nodding our heads and saying
another cornerstone, right?
Yes, exactly. Because to me, at 17, who are you getting? Who are you getting
at that spot? I think you get your either pick of the litter when it comes to like a free safety. There's like several of them that like first round. In my opinion, they're going to be first round
because I essentially think this is what's going to happen.
Or you trade out, or you take an offensive lineman right there, like a right guard that can be a plug and play there kind of guy. And then in the second, you get your wide receiver or your safety. In the third, you get the other.
So are you doing are you doing that over the scenario where we talked about where we draft a guard/center type of role or guard/tackle type of role to develop?
Just depends.
At 17, are you giving that up for a right tackle for a plug and play?
Well, let's just say he's not tackle eligible. But he's like up for sure. I'm just keep thinking about a guy.
Starting guard.
Garrett Bradbury. Right now he's projected to go to the Rams late first round from, I think it was Bucky Brooks' mock draft. But anyways, I think the Rams are definitely are probably going to go offensive line with their first round pick. They let Roger Southwell, their guard, go, and then they released their center, something Sullivan, John Sullivan.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I think it's Mike Sullivan.
I'm thinking about a guy like that, though, where he could be a guy – where, like I said, let's just say we have some 17, you trade down a little bit, you take him, kind of like the Cowboys did with Travis Frederick with us. That's when we moved up for Eric Reed. Everybody at that time was like, "Oh, we fleeced the Cowboys," but that was a great trade for the Cowboys. Right now, it doesn't look as great because I think he went through some mental issues last year. It took the whole year off, but they got a third out of it, and he was legit Pro Bowl horse.
Yeah.
So, like, do you go to 17? Then we trade back, get our offensive lineman. It could be your free safety too. You get an extra pick out of it. I mean. Welcome to draft season, dude.
Right. This is what we're doing, making our living. So to me, because this is my scenario, is that I don't think.
But it sounds good, right? Multiple starters.
I don't. Oh, of course. Because to me, if you could say that we're getting, let's just say, if Greedy Williams is a shutdown corner that everybody thinks he is, and you can give me Greedy Williams at 6, you can give me a solid 10-year starter at right guard at 17 or trade back to 20 or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
You can get your edge rusher over there. I mean, if they really like somebody,
You know what I'm saying? Because to me, I think everybody keeps on thinking edge rush first pick, second overall, but first, our first pick. And to me, of course, that's what I kind of want. Like, I do believe that if Nick Bosa or Quentin Williams or Josh Allen can have the impact that people think that they can have.
We're 49er fans. Do you remember peak Aldon Smith and peak Ahmad Brooks, right? I mean, that's what I keep. And we have.
I'm so old. Okay, I'm so old. I remember Dana Stubblefield and Bryant Young.
Oh, I know. I'm just talking about from a
yeah.
Like I think I became a Niner fan. That was.
I know.
Remember we weren't that confident on our offense a lot of times, but when the defense was just out there and it was third down and everybody get wild for third downs. Like, I go to the 49ers bar and that bar gets wild on third down.
But like, so my thing about this is this is how I look at it, brother, is that Alden came in and he changed the franchise.
Yeah.
I really do believe that. I really do believe both when he came and he left.
Right.
Let's be legit. Alden Smith was a franchise-changing player in both a good way and a bad way.
Yeah, and he only played nickel his first year, but still, like, he was that much of an
impact. Yeah. So to me, is, I believe that's essentially, that I think, and I think if they don't get a king's ransom, you know what I'm saying? I don't believe that if they don't feel like you said, like, look, because of this trade, we could potentially get I still get a franchise cornerstone. Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe find 2 starters, or a franchise cornerstone and a starter, and then maybe, because of we get this pick, trade back and get another 2 possibly. You know what I'm saying?
2 starters and like 2 push starters that are ready to like compete for a job or something like that. I mean, obviously that
look, I'll never forget that. I believe it was. I know it was the first series of the '89 Super Bowl. I believe it was Jesse Sapolo, I believe, that went down with injury in the Super Bowl.
Damn, I know.
So that. Here comes in our backup guard. Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So to me is I think some people are so obsessed with starters. And rightfully so, because ideally those are your best players and things like that. But to me, it is, I tell people, I was like, look, it didn't really pan out, and it was a lot of potential, but I don't underestimate losing the Brock Coyle. Now, David Mayo came in and filled in with depth, and so okay, fine.
Malcolm Smith restructured. That makes me feel solid.
Yeah.
Elijah Lee back. We re-signed Mark Nziocha.
But
David Mayo, I won't even make the team in my opinion. We'll see how that.
My thing about it is the coaches, just to touch on the Jimmy Ward subject real quick. Coaches love him. You know what I'm saying? Like, all coaches will swear by Jimmy Ward.
He can play, man. People are just
Ian Williams, former Niner, a dude who I respect a lot. Actually, I follow him on Twitter. He's a good follow. Y'all should go follow him. He did an interview on KBR, and he said, you know what? A broken arm, a broken forearm, those type of injuries, you know what that tells me? That tells me that you're on the football, you're flying around. And he goes, you can't teach effort. You can't coach it. He goes, whether you're in the right position, wrong technique, he goes, I can coach those things. I can't coach your heart and your effort.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Ward gets heart and gets effort.
He's a pit bull.
And you know what? And
fight with Hopkins and freaking scrimmage.
Yeah, and my whole thing about it is, don't underestimate the fact of that having a player that, albeit, yes, he's missed more games than he's played in and but don't forget being able to have somebody go down with an injury and being able to put in a person with NFL experience.
And
you know what I'm saying?
Inside and out now, so you don't have to have that worry about possibly somebody in here, like, for example,
and who's been a starter
in the draft. But I mean, are they going to push for the job? Sure, but am I going to rely on them to start? Let's just say if they're. I mean, I don't know. Jimmy Ward and possibly Colbert had time to learn the scheme inside out.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen, but I feel good about the competition there, knowing whoever wins is. Especially with the improved front seven, I think they're going to be just fine.
Well, see, look, this is to me is that two key things to me come out to the recent press conferences that John Lynch has done. Is that one? He said at the introduction press conference for Dee Ford and Quan Alexander that he learned in Denver, essentially that he learned in Denver that 5 Mississippi was a lot harder than 3 Mississippi and Tampa Bay, right? Because, you had Warren Sapp, Simeon Rice, Derek Brooks, right? Yep. So John Lynch knows that. A great pass rush is going to make any secondary look amazing, okay? 3 Mississippi is a lot shorter than 5 Mississippi. It just is.
Right.
So personally, the way I'm looking at it is that they're gonna go pass rush. Now, I believe that D Ford is going all in, and so to me, you take that in consideration, and then you take in the fact that John Lynch came out and he said, "Look, we like our free safety." He essentially said, "Look, we like Jimmy Ward, we like Adrian Colbert, and we like DJ Reed." And he goes, now he didn't rule out the possibility of adding people or whatever like that.
Right.
But to me, don't be surprised if we go in next year with the free safeties we have right now.
Dude, hold on. Let me stop you right there. Have you seen okay, I'm going to ask you a question. What did the passing defense finish in out of the 32 NFL teams? What did our defense finish in pass yards per game last year? Do you remember? Have you seen my tweets?
Yeah. Let me see. It was. I know it was.
It's a number that everybody kind of wants to forget. And I brought this up because out of all the injuries and our freaking offense being the second worst in the NFL, putting the defense in turnovers, second worst in the NFL in turnovers. So we always had to play from behind, always put the defense in bad spots. All the injuries and the lack of consistent edge rushing, what did we finish in the past?
I believe it was like it was top 15. I know that.
11th.
11th
overall. When you consider everything.
Yeah. That's
it's like how do you trip? Because I'm like, you know what? Everywhere's going to be improvements. Like, even if you do have like subpar, I mean, I'm not going to say subpar. Let's just say we have average free safety play. It still seems like the passing defense should be hopefully 7 to 10, and we could easily have the top 5 defense overall.
Well, my whole thing about it is that you've got to look at the overall team as a picture and not just the individually defense. Is that I think that they'll say with an improved pass rush, right, with an improved closers, essentially people that we need when we need a sack to win a game, right?
It's going to be so much awesomer when you're playing ahead, hopefully.
There you go. That A, playing ahead, or B, having Jimmy G coolback and being able to put up some points.
Yes, combination.
You know what I'm saying? So, hey, guess what? Maybe the defense does give up 21 points next year on average. 23 points on average. But if we score
so that's what sometimes with bend don't break. But you have enough of a lead. Okay with that.
But exactly. But do you think it's impossible for us to average 27, 28 points next year on offense?
I think we're fully capable, especially with today.
Exactly. So then by average, we're outscoring the opponent, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. I don't give a damn if we win games 39-40. I don't give a damn.
Yeah, let's take it back to Vin Diesel. Now, if you went by an inch or a mile, and I guess if you're counting victories, you don't care.
To me, defense is not about when you get. It's all about when you get the stops, not how you get the stops. It's about when.
Smith. What did Justin Smith say?
What did Justin Smith say? Okay.
I
got to do this one.
Stats are for losers.
Huh?
Stats are for losers.
Stats are for losers.
And you catch bringing up some points like that, but guess what? We lost a lot. So he's pretty much saying, like, Adam, like, yeah, that stat is nice, but you still lost a lot of the games. So.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, I got you. Anyway, we're going to have to wrap it up here soon. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me go ahead and go through all this. Hold on, I gotta find it now. Okay, thanks everybody for listening. Where is it? I totally lost it. Oh God, this is horrible.
Well, it's a great day out there.
Yeah, everybody enjoy life. Whatever. Shop Niner Faithful Radio, shop.com. Or Niner Faithful Radio, shop, NinerFaithfulRadio.com/shop. Have me drop my phone. And yeah, all the good stuff will be in the show notes. If you're listening as a podcast, please write a review. Give us a 5-star review. It's really going to help the show grow. We're trying to do big things. Please. Adam, tell the people where they can follow you on Twitter.
At 49ers Insiders.
And you can follow me follow Niner Faithful Radio at Niner Faithful Radio on Facebook and Instagram, and Niner Faithful R on Twitter. I shall see y'all next week. Till then, faith, love, and happiness. Go Niners.